Well, he's a contractor accused of taking the money and not doing the work. It might sound like many different contractors that we've reported on over the years. The catch here is just how many years he's accused of doing this in New York, even after being ordered by the state to never do work again. Now, I've spoken to 4 of his alleged victims in recent weeks, but only 2 wanted to take their story on camera. And tonight I dig deeper to get the bottom line on how he's still in business.
In understanding how contractors work, I knew this is not going to end well.
That's what Malta neighbors Jim Day and Bill Thomas say about contractor Robert Decker Sr., whom they hired in June to replace the roofs on each of their homes. They got the referral from a trusted source, a retired state trooper.
He was going to tear down the old roof and put everything up new. The new plywood, the whole kit and caboodle.
Each signed a contract with Decker for about $7,600 apiece. Jim paid $5,000 of that up front, Bill about $5,300. They say their checks were cashed real fast, but when it came to the work,
I would get the runaround. I'd call him like 3 or 4 times before he would even call me back once.
That really made me start thinking that something was wrong.
Decker gave them proof of insurance, but because of the delay, it was Bill who says he called the insurance company and learned that Decker's policy had been canceled last year.
I was like, here I go. I knew I was in for a ride.
They filed complaints with the state attorney general's office and finally learned that ride had been running in the area for years. The AG's office first arrested Decker for grand larceny in 1994, almost 20 years ago, and a judge sentenced him to 2 to 4 years in prison. In 2002, the AG took him to court again, filing a petition charging him with repeated fraud and deceptive conduct, among other charges. That led to a settlement in 2004 when a judge issued a consent order against Decker, permanently barring him from doing any business as a contractor in the state. But then in 2005, our cameras were there as Decker was led away in handcuffs for contempt of court, sentenced to 6 months in jail for violating that order.
And now these latest claims.
So all these years later, how is it possible that he's still out there and able to do this allegedly?
Well, I mean, even if you obtain a judgment barring him permanently from being in the business, there's nothing to actually prevent him from nonetheless going out there and offering to perform work for consumers.
But is there anything to inform consumers of the fact that he's been barred?
Is there any sort of statewide registry, let's say, where someone can look up and see, okay, here's the name of a contractor who should not be practicing?
There's no real central registry. It's not that easy to sort of maintain an actually good current database that really has all the information that you might want.
So just how easy is it then for Decker to keep practicing? We wanted to ask him himself, but he didn't return our calls. And when we went to his home in Fonda, we got no answer. Like Bill and Jim, still waiting for answers in Malta.
Why is he still out there?
One time is a mistake, and you're a bad businessman. Something that is reoccurring time and again for almost 20 years, it's not a mistake, it's malicious.
Now, the AG's office tells me it has now filed 1 new charge against Decker. That's possession of a forged instrument for allegedly showing an insurance policy that wasn't valid in another case similar to those of Bill and Jim. It is a felony carrying a maximum sentence of 7 years in prison, and the AG's office tells me that they are looking for more alleged victims to come forward. To find out more, you can just head to our website, cbs6albany.com, click on the bottom line, and I've posted the link right there for you.